Hi, it's Mark Reynolds with Breeze Automotive, and I wanted to spend a few minutes to tell you today about our insulation and carpet installation. One of the products Breeze offers is called zero clearance, and what we did is we put zero clearance on the high heat areas of the outside of our foot boxes. Zero clearance is a embossed aluminum, 3 layers. It's got embossed aluminum, then it's got about 1/8 of an inch of fiberglass, and then it's got pressure sensitive adhesive and then a removable released layer. We made patterns in paper and made a piece for the inside and front of our foot boxes where all that header heat is radiating right out. And then we attached it to our foot boxes using a method where we peel back the liner layer by grabbing a piece of it and making a lanyard out of masking tape. And then we can lay it almost exactly in position and then just pull the liner back on itself and position that whole big piece pretty accurately without getting it stuck in the wrong place. We also sealed the edges with an aluminum tape that's available from a variety of places. I think we got ours at McMaster Car. So we wanted to seal those edges because they're raw fiberglass inside. We also did the same thing on our driver's foot box on the inside surface, so the heat never gets to the foot box or gets to it a lot less, and in the lower part of the front. This material also does help dampen sound and vibration a little bit, incidentally. We also used the zero clearance on the transmission side of the transmission tunnel and a transmission tunnel flare. So I can't show it to you here, but it's on there. Now let's talk about our carpet installation. A couple of things. We just got done installing our carpet, and if you're going to use a pre-cut insulation kit like Cool Mat, you're going to need to buy a gallon of contact cement, because you're going to have to basically do everything twice. You're going to contact cement the insulation into the aluminum, and then you're going to contact cement the carpet to the insulation. In this case, we didn't use the Cool Mat, but we used the quad mat and bi-mat style materials. That's another insulation we offer. It's a little bit less expensive, and I didn't really want to do the entire car, so I put it selectively in places. So I put the quad mat, which is butyl rubber, aluminum, butyl rubber, and closed cell foam, on the transmission tunnel top. Wrapped it around the side. You can see a little bit of bulge there, but I put it there where you're liable to touch it a lot, and you get a little bit of tactile softness there. I also put it quad mat on the floor of the foot boxes on both sides. So we got the transmission tunnel top. Actually, we did the flare of the transmission tunnel as well, and then the floor on both sides. I used just the bi-mat in some other areas like the foot box floor and across the rear cockpit wall. A couple other tips on carpet installation. I wanted to take you around and show you that even though the carpet is pre-cut, there's a lot of trimming that needs to be done. So we decided that we better make some patterns in paper before we go ahead and cut our carpet. So this is just an example of the paper patterns that I made. So the way we did that is I traced the carpeting out on the brown paper as it comes from Factory 5, and then I laid that in the car. And with that paper pattern, I could do all my trimming and cutting and figure out exactly where I wanted to put the carpet. In this case, I had to cut a big square out to avoid the Breeze seat installation base plate. But this really helped me figure out what was going on with the carpeting and where to put slots and where I'd need to add some and where I'd need to trim some. So then once I got that pattern done, I put that back on the Factory 5 carpet with the base side up, the bottom side up, and with a sharp single edge razor blade, it's easy to trim through the backing material without trying to cut through all the carpet fibers. So I trimmed it that way, and then contact cement both the carpet and the car. Lay some wax paper in the car to reduce the amount of sticking I was going to get. Locate some key areas and then slip the wax paper out. Here's one for the transmission tunnel, which was a little tricky also because you have all these other cuts to make, like for the parking brake handle over here, for the shifter obviously, and in our case we had the dash support tube, so we had to come up with a couple of well-placed holes for those dash support tubes to get through the trans tunnel. Also over here we had holes for our wire for our seat heaters on both sides. That's a little bit about carpet installation. Even though it comes pre-cut from Factory 5, there's quite a bit of trimming and adjustment to do. If you end up with a little bare spot in some little corner, the way we solved that is we knew we had a bare spot due to the patterns we made, and I would cut a little sliver of carpeting and glue that in first where I knew I had a gap, and then slide the big piece up to it. All in all, I think it came out pretty well. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again later. Bye-bye.